Welcome, welcome, welcome. You know the software, you're an electrician, but you're wondering what's the drawing for. I'm just really gonna show AutoCAD Electrical, really. The bits that are already there were when I was gonna draw up my test rigs that I've got. I never ended up doing it in the end, but this is what remains, really. So I was just gonna show some stuff, if you're interested. What's the difference between TinyCAD and AutoCAD? I'm not sure, to be fair, Bubbles. I've never used TinyCAD. This is a special subset of AutoCAD called AutoCAD Electrical, so it's tailored for making panels and that sort of thing. Hey, Pickle, what's up, man? How are you doing tonight? Yeah, so this is AutoCAD Electrical, which it operates in very much a similar way to normal AutoCAD, to be fair. Oh, they're making you use TinyCAD at school. I guess it's probably down to price. AutoCAD's pretty expensive. Just woke up. Woke up, pulled up on all-nighter last night. What was you doing last night? With gaming or something, mate? What was the all-nighter about? Or was you working or something? Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. Yeah, AutoCAD's expensive, mate. AutoCAD's really expensive. Hey, appreciate the lights, guys. Thank you. I'm just waiting for a few more people to come in. I've only just started. Thank you for the likes. Really appreciate it, guys. Oh, you were working, yeah. It's a nightmare when it's like that, isn't it? All from the 80s. A P2000. What's one of them? I'm not sure what a P2000 is, Pickle. Did you have drawings, though? That's the most important thing. Well, I guess if you ain't got wire numbers and no labels and nothing, drawings are probably no good. Yeah, it's tough work. But that's where you earn your cash, in here. That's where you earn the money. Automation Direct. Okay. Yeah, we don't really have that over here. I think I was, I don't know if it was you I was saying it to or someone else, but I was looking to get a Click PLC one time, but they're just not a thing over in the UK. Earth the 0 volts. On the DC side, you mean? Yeah, I probably would. If I was doing a job, I would ground the battery negative. Yeah, it's probably the best way, mate, yeah. I'm in the UK, buddy. Them shipping costs would be expensive, mate. Yeah, I know what you're saying, Powelly. Yeah, I tend to work in power generation, so all the batteries are... the battery negative is always connected to the engine chassis and stuff anyway. You always ground all that side. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. So really what I was going to do was just show some AutoCAD Electrical really today. I've got a bit of a circuit going on. Don't know if you guys can see that okay. Nothing much. It was something I started ages ago when I was going to do my... when I was wiring up my test rigs. I never finished it in the end. I never bothered putting a drawing together for it. It ended up just being a bit of a mess. High voltage. Yeah, man. I used to test industrial battery chargers, and sometimes the charger would have a floating output, and that was actually quite safe when you were doing the testing because you could have one fault and nothing would happen. You know, if the negative faulted to the chassis or the positive faulted to the chassis, it didn't really matter because it was a floating system. But if you had two faults, if both faulted to the chassis, then you'd obviously have a short circuit. Right, let me just start wiring in some stuff. How I would normally do it is, there's my positive. All my terminals are they're not aligned with the grid, and that really annoys me. Is that aligned now? I think it is, yeah. Let's move that one over. There we go. I like to try and keep my positives on the left. My negatives on the right. Try and keep some consistency across the drawings. Polish boy, welcome back, mate. How are you doing tonight? You're learning SkyCAD, a free AutoCAD. Yeah, I've heard SkyCAD's pretty good. I've not used it myself, but I've heard it's pretty good. No, I don't want relays. Let me pull that over here. Chuck in a circuit breaker. Just leave it as Q1. Say it's, I don't know, 4 amp. Can you do like GAs and stuff in SkyCAD? Can you do or modeling or anything like that? 3D modeling. How do you like lay out your panels in SkyCAD? You guys can see that, okay? Yeah. Have you ever worked on larger scale buildings? Is that what you meant to say? No, I tend to do just the control panel side, but sometimes we might have like 20 control panels in a suite of the control systems, like a suite of panels. So it's, yeah, I don't do buildings or anything like that though. It's usually control panels for like generators and stuff like that. Yeah, no worries, mate. Yeah, no worries. I want another source. Let's call this one negative. You can kind of call it what you want. I'll just show you what the source arrows can do in AutoCAD. So this won't really make sense to do this. In reality, you would normally do it across 2 different drawings, but I can draw some lines up here. You see that alright? Yeah. And then I can put some destination arrows in rather than source arrows. And if I call that one positive, and call that one negative, and it depends how you've set out how you want your drawings to be numbered and stuff. But you see now those arrows automatically point up here. So if I put some wire numbers, let's say if I put the number, I don't know, 6 on there, so that's now got the wire number 6. If I update this destination arrow, that also has the number 6. Oh, you haven't got that far yet. Oh, fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Yeah, if anyone can share the live, repost, and like, that'd be really appreciated. Thank you. AutoCAD, you must be loaded. Evening, by the way. Yeah, I'm not paid for this, mate. It's my account, my work account I use. Yeah, AutoCAD's crazy expensive. Do you freelance, and if so, where do you find clients? I don't have I'm a fully employed. I work for a company. Is this AutoCAD Electrical? It is, Caesar, yes. Are you multi-streaming to YouTube too? No, mate, I don't multi-stream. I just, after every live's finished, maybe the next day or the day after, I'll upload it to YouTube, the whole live. Because not everyone can make it, you know. Some time zones are different. Some people, you know, a lot of my followers might be sleeping at the minute, so they can't make the live. And some people, you know, join halfway through and they've missed half of it. So the best way to get around that is just to upload the whole live stream to YouTube, I find. Hugo, thank you for the follow, mate. Really appreciate that. I had no sound there, though. Let me just sort that out. There we go. There we go. I've just finished all the control panels for the pumps for the Auckland Underground train stations. Nice, the best Sparky. That sounds like good work. What sort of when you say pumps, what are the pumps doing? Is that for like HVAC type stuff in the underground? Is E good money in the UK? It can be. It definitely can be. Depends on the company you work for, or if you work for yourself, you can make some good money. It also depends where you live. If you are employed and you live out in the sticks, you're probably going to get a lot less than if you worked in the city. I guess it's like anywhere. Have you worked in anything related to GNC, AOC's control in spacecrafts? No, mate, that sounds way above my pay grade. No, I haven't, buddy. Is that what you do, is it? I used to be an electrical engineer, but now I'm morbidly obese and I live on a dirty mattress. I mean, days can get better, buddy. Get back into it. I want to move from the USA to England. Is it worth it for controls? Now, I would say you definitely get paid more in the US, mate. Just from what I see on TikTok and stuff. It sounds like you guys over there get paid way more. Anyway, let me not just have you staring at a static screen. Let's put in some relays or something. What do we want to do? Let's bring in some coils. How do I want to do this? Let's put it here. Just leave it as K1 and leave it unlabeled for now. So I kind of showed this as an example, but it's not a very good example. We would normally, in the UK or Europe or something at least, we do our rails horizontally rather than vertically. So if I just delete that off, you guys can see that okay. Yeah, put my rail there for the positive, scoot that along, chuck that up there. Excuse me. That's negative, I know that one. Welcome in everyone, welcome in. We've only just started maybe 5-10 minutes ago. 10 minutes ago. How's everyone doing tonight? 70 plus pumps, wow. Weren't very good at it then. Savage, the engineer, savage. What was your pathway to becoming an EE? So I did an electrical apprenticeship at a local manufacturing company. That was a 5-year-long apprenticeship where I worked on the tools 4 days a week and went to college and stuff and university and stuff after 1 day a week. What's this panel for again? Excuse me. There is no real reason for this panel. I was explaining at the start that I had basically a power supply and a couple of distribution blocks already drawn up, and that was because I was gonna do some drawings for my test rigs that I've got. I never ended up doing it in the end, so yeah, there's no real tangible reason for doing this. I just wanted to show off AutoCAD Electrical. I showed the 3D modelling side last night. That went down pretty well. So I thought I'd do the electrical side, so the schematic side, tonight. It's only going to be a quick one. Is it like a formation in autumn? I don't know what that means. Sorry, MN. I'm not sure what you're asking there. Air conditioning system. Maybe I've missed something. Just let it burn. AC control. I maybe missed something. Desvad, welcome back. Anyway, mate, welcome back again. I built panels for my father when I was 13. That's how I got into controls. Ah, nice. What sort of panels were you building? What sort of industry did you work in? I don't know how much you guys can see of this screen. Yeah, you can see a little bit. So, how I would normally do my circuits is I'd normally have like a DC rail, which is what this is. So just ignore this down here. That was just there already, really. But so these arrows point to these arrows up here. You see that number 6? That is this number 6 here. So it all automatically sorts itself out when I put the arrows in. I could give this one a Y number as well. Let's give that number 2. Let's change the number 6 to a number 1, just so it's how I would usually have it. Positives 1, negatives 2, and then if I update that and update that, you can see it goes to 1 and 2. Tudor, thank you for the follow, mate. Really appreciate that. AutoCAD is the software used. Yes, cheers, Danny Sav. I put the title as what's the software just because that's just literally the question I get asked all the time. Just found you, bro. Can't wait to dive into your catalogue. Yeah, man, I've got a lot of videos up there. You'll be there a long time, but thank you, brother. I really appreciate that. Where are you in the UK? North Yorkshire, mate. North Yorkshire. One line above, one line above, and one under. I have no idea what you're talking about there, buddy. Just pure automation drives, pneumatic valves, servos. There's probably some conversations going on that I'm not sure about. AutoCAD Electrical, yes, mate. That's what it is. Yep. Okay, so I've got a relay on there. I mean, it looks odd, but you could probably do this and have this as like a DC supply healthy relay, and with the relays I use, that's normally 8 and 1 on the coil. So these numbers down here are the coil numbers, and then up here is where you select the contacts. And normally I would use that. Don't remember the pin numbers off the top of my head. I normally just copy and paste them across. But just for the sake of this, I will say we have a 3 is a changeover contact. Let's call them 11 and 12. No, sorry, 11, 14 and 12, because the order is common, normally open, normally closed. And then put colon in. 3, 21, 24 and 22. Don't know why I struggled with that there, but yeah. The actual relays that I use aren't like that, to be fair. Why have I only got 1? Have I done something wrong? 3, 21, 24, 22. Not sure. It should show 2. Oh, there we go. It's showing 2 now. So these are what's called a cross-reference. Yeah, just a cross-reference. So if I put a contact in, it's going to automatically fill in where that contact is, on which drawing and which grid number. See, like there's a grid. So if you're ever looking for the contacts of that K1 coil, it will tell you down here. Marty, thank you for the follow, mate. Really appreciate that. FKR, thank you for the follow as well. Just started my HNC. This is going to be massive help. Oh, good. I hope it is, mate. Cool haircut. Yeah, man, I don't look as homeless today. I got my haircut. And I got my beard trimmed as well. I was looking a little bit homeless the last couple of live streams. I mean, German drawing all schematics like that. Plus is above, minus is under. Oh, right, I'm with you. Sorry, buddy. Yes, yes. And normally as well, actually, because I would only really ever use these arrows for when I go in a different drawing. But rather than just chopping and changing between drawings, I'll just show you on the same one. But I'd always label as well which one's which. So I'd put a label there saying positive and negative. So even though it's on the same drawing, you can clearly see number 1 is the positive and number 2 is the negative. It might be on a different drawing, so I always try and label it as well, just so you know when whichever drawing you're looking at, you know which rail is which. Do you design circuits for the public? I'm not sure what you mean by that, mate. I work for a company. We design control panels. They're not really for the public, I guess. They're for our clients, but yeah. Good software. Are you building any specific circuit or just showing the process? No, I'm just showing the process, wide angle guy. Yeah, I'm not building anything specific. Right, okay, so there's our DC healthy relay. And what we could do using that relay is take a line down. I can open up my components. I'll just pull it over here because there's some stuff I'd rather not show. Pilot lights. Standard lights. Let's have a nice white light. So what we can say is this is the DC healthy lamp. Normally has the terminals of X1 and X2. And let's scoot it up a little bit. Bob's Live, thank you for following, mate. Really appreciate that. I just sort out my labeling. So I also need to fix that so it's a different color. So this lamp, it has got the circuit description of H1, or circuit tag, I guess, of H1, and it's got a description to go along with it. Some drawings you might come across won't have a description. They're a bit of a nightmare. I don't like drawings like that because you're having to try and remember what K1 is, what H1 is. You know, it's not straightforward. I feel like it's a lot easier if you have the tag as well as a little description of what it is. That's how I like to do it. Are we getting a lamp test button as well? I'm trying to keep it simple, brother. We can get a lamp test button, but for now, let me just put this in, put the lamp in, and just show you how the cross-referencing works. Let's go to a contact, put a contact in there. I can select from the drawing. So this is what this is asking is, where's the coil? What is the coil of this contact? I can select from the drawing, I can select from the project, and I can select parent/sibling, and that's the same thing really. I can just by selecting parent/sibling, I can then go and select the coil that I want that contact to be part of, and then it pre-fills in all the information. Click OK, and you can see there that it's now got that K1 reference. It's also got the cross reference of where the coil is, so in green. I think you guys can see that, yep. That's where the coil can be found. And then on the other end, so when you're actually looking at the coil, if you want to find the contact, that's here. And you can see where the E1 is next to the 11 and 14. That's telling you that the normally open contact is at this destination. The person with the teddy bear in the name, thank you for the follow. I can't pronounce that name, unfortunately. I think it says Whiskey. Thank you for the follow, mate. AutoCAD, it's a love-hate relationship. It can be. It can be. It's sometimes you're having to battle it. You have to fight it. Tommy Gunn, thank you for the follow, mate. Mickey, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate that. We're moving away from AutoCAD. There are so many better options. Yeah, I hear a lot of people are moving over to ePlan. That seems to be the big one at the moment. It's not something we're planning to do at any time soon, but if we were to move away, it'd probably be to ePlan. But it works for us. You know, we have no real issues. Also, when I put the contact in, you might notice there's a number 3 here. It automatically put a wire number in for that, you know, the bit in between. So, yeah, that's pretty good. C Electrical is good. I tried C Electrical. I couldn't get on with it. I didn't like it. And also, it failed on the first project where we trialed it. Our customer wanted our drawings, so we sent them. They had C Electrical, but it turned out they had C Electrical like Professional or something like that, and we just had normal C Electrical, and the two weren't compatible. Yeah, total nightmare. Tommy Gunn, thank you for sharing, mate. Really appreciate that. To sharing, thank you, mate. Really, really appreciate that. Sports Guards, thank you for follow. How do you import a PLC in AutoCAD? So there is ways of doing it. I can't really show you guys because you can't see my ribbon at the top. There are ways of doing it from like an Excel spreadsheet and certain particular types of PLC. I can't even see it myself. There we go. Like you can do it from Unity Pro, which I think was an old Schneider software. RS Logix 500. I mean, a lot of these are quite old, but I could probably import like an app, like to do that. You can get add-ons in AutoCAD. Adam, thank you to follow, mate. Wide angle guy, thank you for the follow as well. So you can do it. If I wanted to put a PLC in, there's like a whole library of PLCs. Let's click that one. So here's like a library of PLCs. They're all kind of old and outdated, but you can get what's called localizations, which update all this. Like it's all a database in the background. So you just need to update the database. So I could pick like an old Mitsubishi. There's a Q series. It's got some old Alan Bradley stuff. 1769, I feel like that's still current. IF4s and that. So yeah, it's not all super old stuff, but there is a lot of old stuff in there. Siemens S7 1200, so I can bring one of them in. Special. Let's have a look. It's a bit long. It might not all fit on. Sometimes you have to make just a full drawing just for that itself. Let's set the spacing to 10. Insert everything. Oh, that looks like it'll just about fit. Let's call it rack 1, slot 1. Beginning address. How does Siemens do it? Is it %I, I think? Could be wrong. I can't really remember. I've got one in there. I should probably look. And I don't really remember. So like there's all these options for how you want the inputs to be set up and that sort of thing. And it does depend on manufacturer. Let's just select that one. Just for the sake of it. Let's just go for it. No, continue, no break. %Q. How do Siemens do it? Is it? I don't think it's. It could be decimal. I don't know. Anyway, I'd look at it a little bit more in depth if I was doing it on a real job. And it puts in all these tag numbers and stuff like that for you. And basically that's what it looks like. Normally I would actually break it between inputs and outputs. So I'd have like an inputs on the top and the outputs on the bottom, rather than have it all as one piece. Probably missed some stuff. How do you go about remote VPN access to a PLC? I used to work on roller coaster control systems. So I'm just doing that at the moment actually. I've got a project where I'm doing that and I'm using a Teltonica unit. I'm using a RUT 956. It's pretty good. I'm quite happy with how it's working. They're yeah, good devices. We used to use NetBiters. We've also used a Bayer Cloud VPN in the past. Just build your own isometric PLC. You could do that. You could, but then you're kind of getting around. So the whole purpose of doing it like this is to use AutoCAD Electrical's inbuilt functions and stuff. So it's all kind of intelligent. If I was to just draw it out, it's kind of pointless being in AutoCAD Electrical at that point, I would say. Adriano, thank you for sharing the live, mate. Really appreciate that. Multiple times, actually. Hane, thank you for the follow. Blaine, thank you for the follow. Apple user, thank you for the follow. Akoni, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate it, guys. I've missed some other stuff, and I have. What you working on? Not a lot, mate. I'm just kind of showing AutoCAD Electrical. I don't want to put that PLC in there, so I'll just bin that off. John Smith, thank you for the follow. Missed that one, sorry. Think I might be caught up now. VPN access was a risky topic. Yeah, I mean, if you get a device that's got all the cybersecurity stuff built in, then you should be golden, really. I used the Teltonica, but stopped using the RMS VPN. Oh, that's what I've been using. Yeah, the RMS VPN stuff. It was pretty straightforward to set up. I'm quite happy with it. It didn't cost a lot whatsoever for like 10 years, like a management pack thing. It would also flag an input on the PLC. I'm not sure what you're talking about there, mate. I was obviously you're obviously replying to me, but I've already forgotten what I said. What software is this? This is AutoCAD Electrical, buddy. How much do you pay for the license? It's a lot of money. I don't know the exact specifics, but we're talking like thousands a year. Something to do with manufacturer liability on roller coaster with meat. Ah, well, yeah, yeah. Welcome in, everyone. 69 people in here. That's pretty crazy. Let me carry on what I'm doing then, so you're not all looking at a static screen. So we've put in a relay. Right, okay, let's go back to basics. We've got an AC input. Single phase in the UK, the supply at the wall is 230 volts, 50 hertz. That comes into a power supply. It says it's a Wago or Vago, however you want to pronounce it. 230 volt to 24 volt DC, 1.25 amp. I picked that just because that was what was going to be on my test rig. It then comes down to a couple of distribution blocks. Normally I wouldn't have green and white. I would have something like orange and white, but I don't have an orange one. I have a green one, so that's what it's going to be. These distribution blocks. They're a Phoenix distribution block. They're really good. 19-way, 24 amp. Brilliant for just like distributing some DC about. We come then down into a circuit breaker rated at 4 amps. That then goes off into these arrows, these source arrows. Those source arrows come out up here and then go into a relay, which is my DC supply healthy relay. That then goes to a lamp. So if that relay is energized, that contact's closed, that lamp's turned on. That's all we've got to so far. Hey bud, I'm about to create a coil winding machine. Would you recommend this tech for this? I wouldn't say go out and, unless you're doing control panels or, anything electrical. Because this software isn't just for control panels, you can do anything with it really. I would say if you're not using it already, don't go out and get it just for one job. Go out and get it if you're going to do tons of panels or tons of machines, whatever you're doing. Don't just get it for one project because it's really expensive. Powering the .KDR. Powering the modem would flag a PLC input, thus logging that VPN is possible. Ah, I'm with you. Sorry, right, I'm with you. Okay, mate. When active, the manufacturer takes no responsibility for the loss of life on the ride. That's wild. I don't think that's going to hold up in court, mate. King of Southwestern, thank you for the follow, mate. Daniel, thank you for the follow. The Lifer, thank you for the follow. Nana, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate it. What's better, ePlan or AutoCAD? I'm not sure, to be fair, buddy. I've not used ePlan, but I hear it is good, and I know some people move over from AutoCAD to ePlan, and they're quite happy with it, so ePlan could be better. I just don't know. So what else can we do? Let's put in some switches and stuff like that. So let me just drag this over here. Selector switches. Let's have a 3 position. Where are those? Where do those live? Here. Let's chuck that in there. Call this S1 and just call this HOA selector or something. So if I could spell selector switch. Jesus. Pins 1 and 2. Oh. 1 and 2. Positions. Hand off auto. And what that does is that then gives you sort of a little visual representation of what that switch is. So the left hand position would be hand, the middle would be off, and the right would be auto. It's been given the designation of S1, and it's got a little bit of a description here, which I can just shift across. The descriptions are never really where I want them. It's typical. And I can put that to there. Then if I need my other contacts, which I do want, I'll pull that over here. Selector switches. Second contact normally open. Put that one there. I'll just copy that across. And then there's a little button where I can click that one, and click that one, and it'll give me a nice little line in between. I can make that 11 and... In fact, I've just realised I put 1 and 2, I think. It should be 1 and 4. In fact, it wants to be 11 and 14. C19, thank you to follow. Fernandito, thank you to follow. Really appreciate that. Wait, you do AutoCAD Electrical too? I do, mate. Yes, I do. Yeah. Last night I did a whole 2-hour live stream about the 3D aspect of it, where we built a control panel, or designed a control panel, I guess. There was no real design though. If you watch it, it's a bit messy, but we did it, and I think it showed all the basic, uses for the 3D side. That wants to be 22. I'm getting distracted, sorry. Do you train? As in, do I teach and stuff like that? I don't, no. I just do this for the fun of it, because I'm a boring bastard. Yeah, I don't do any formal teaching or stuff like that. I don't want the hassle of it. You guys can see that, okay? Right, so there's my selector switch. There's my contacts on my selector switch. I can then bring that down to, again, some relays or something. I don't really need a contact in the middle. Probably don't need to use that. Let's bring in I tend to just copy and paste, because once I've set it up how I kind of want it, then I don't need to start messing around again. Oh, I've missed out there. I'll tell you what as well, I shouldn't have the gripper on. So I don't, well, just so you know what I'm talking about. You can see there's like a little green, it almost looks like an egg timer where my mouse is. And if I go to the end, it'll turn to a square. You don't really want that on when you're working with AutoCAD Electrical, because AutoCAD Electrical is meant to be used with like a grid type thing. So yeah, don't put the snapping. I can't remember what the official name is, but I call it the snap. I think it is a snap, object snap or something. Galapagos, thank you for the follow, mate. Really appreciate that. Grew up watching my dad draw these on an easel. I feel like I'm so lucky to live in a time where I don't have to hand draw, because I know for a fact, with the amount of mistakes I make in like AutoCAD Electrical and stuff, and it's so easy to fix. If I was to do it by hand, I don't think I would be in the industry long. I'd have thrown the big drawing boards out the window long before I did anything useful. Because them guys had to, like, yeah. If you made too many mistakes, you almost have to start again completely from scratch. Josu, I think. Thank you for the follow, mate. Really appreciate that. Ground Pounder. Thank you for the follow. Nice name. Do you work for yourself or self-employed? I'm fully employed, actually. I work for a company. So much faster the wire numbers get me all messed up. I mean, when it comes to wire numbers, you can do it so it's just like automatically does it. I like to pick my wire numbers, so I've got 1 and 2 there. There's 3. I'll just click on that. There's 4. I haven't got anything in there, so it won't do anything. But you can just do it so it's all automatic if you don't really care. I like to have some sort of numbering sequence and that sort of thing. So 1, I always like to make positive. 2, I always like to make negative. And to be fair, in the industry I work in like power generation, on generators in particular, excuse me, it's kind of historically known that number 2 is negative anyway. So this can be, what was this relay? This is on my auto, so in auto mode relay or something. The engineer, thank you, buddy. Really appreciate that. 130 coins. Is that 2 lots of 130 coins? That's the golden boxing gloves. Thank you, buddy. Really appreciate that. You're going crazy. Cheers, mate. Thank you. 30 out of 37 in my goal thing. Thank you. Really, really appreciate that, buddy. Njaja, thank you for the follow. Manti, thank you for the follow. Kiwi Girl, thank you for follow. Balmer, thank you for follow. I2P, thank you for follow. And Ola, oh no, Ola's just joined. Never mind. Try and follow though, Ola. Object Snap, thank you, Robert. Yeah, I missed that, sorry. Thank you. That is what it's called. Yeah. So much faster. I read that one already. What's the name of the software? AutoCAD Electrical, buddy. Oh, thanks, Kay. I'm too far behind. Let me catch up. Wish I knew this stuff. I'm an electrician, but seriously lacking with this stuff. See, I don't get, right? I don't know what it's like anywhere else, and I think I mentioned this on our live the other day. I don't get why domestic electricians and stuff don't do circuits. Your fault finding would be so much easier if you had a circuit to work off and stuff. How do I join? There's nothing to join, buddy. Oh yeah, make sure I keep... Yeah, I need to keep moving the screen, else I end up getting my visibility restricted or something, which has happened on the last few lives. So there's another wire that needs a number. Just click on that, it gives it the number 5. That one also needs its name changing. So this is in hand mode relay. And I tend to just try and stick with 2-pole relays. They're quite small. The ones I use are Omron G2R2 relays. I try and use them for everything. But if I need some bigger current, there's like a G2R1 which does 10 amps. These are 2-pole 5 amp relays. So there's that. What else can I show? Let's go into another circuit now. I don't know what's going on with that cross-reference. I think it's because I just need to pull that off. Let's just cancel that. Take that out. Hopefully that should get rid of... Yeah, that got rid of the cross-reference. Let's go into another drawing. So, not destination. I want a source. You're using AutoCAD. I am, buddy. Yes, I am, DJ. Let's call this +2 because the last one was +1. In fact, let's put a dash in there. You can kind of name these whatever you want. It really doesn't matter as long as the other side's named the same. Yeah, this is just how I do it. +2, -2, whatever. So that's now pointing off to somewhere, but I haven't done the other end yet. And if I go into a different drawing, so this is a totally blank drawing, I can now do, let's do a multiple buzz this time. So I've just, up until now, I've been individually putting the wires on. You can put multiple wires on at the same time. Patrick, thank you for the follow. Zia, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate that. I want an empty space go horizontal. I just want 2 wires. You could do like tons of wires if you wanted. I will set it there, and you can see, I think you guys can see that I've just made 2Y bus, put some destination arrows in, call this --2, and you see that's now, in fact that's positive because it's on the top, my bad. It has number 1. So you can see it says E1/12A. If we just go back to drawing E1, which was the one we was on, you see it says 12 there and A there. So that's telling you where that, and that needs to update because it's not that one, it's that one. And that's telling you where that arrow goes to. So when you've got drawings in your hand, you can see, the next, you know, it's on the next page, it's on E2, and then I can look at 3A, and that's where it is. That's how you find it. Kiwi Tails, thank you to follow. Ben, thank you to follow. Kian, thank you to follow. And Jabu, thank you to follow. Really appreciate it, guys. So let's go for the other side. --2. So there's my DC bus on this page now. So on a completely different page. So I've got some stuff over here, which comes from down here. So it's all protected by a 4-amp circuit breaker. You can, you know, depending on what you're doing, you can split it across multiple circuit breakers. But yeah, that's basically what I've got so far. That's now pointing to drawing 2, and drawing 2 is a completely blank page, nothing on it. What shall we do? The thing is, I'm not really designing anything as such. I'm just trying to show you stuff, how the software works. Let's pull this down. Let's say if we are in hand mode. So what I want to do is bring a contact in and say, okay, so before I do that then, what I did last time to link the contacts to the coils was parent sibling, but that's only good if the coil's on the same drawing. We're now on a different drawing. We're on E2 instead of E1. So now what I need to do is go on project, and project will list every coil you have, every relay coil. So what I want to do is just pick the one that I want for this contact, which is in hand mode. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. And I pick that, and it brings in all the details like it did before. It brings in the tag number of the coil, the location of the coil, and the description of the coil. So if I went back to E1, you can see they were a bit close, but you can see this cross-reference is updated. So that's now telling me where the normally open contact is. Yeah, and that's it really. So that you know, this is all automatic in the background. I'm not having to do anything. I'm not having to manually cross-reference and stuff, because manual cross-referencing, I don't know if any of you have done that, but it's a total nightmare, especially if you need to modify the panel or modify the drawings in any way after they're done. Having to update the cross-referencing manually, it is, yeah, crazy hard. It's more of a pain than hard. How do you create a bespoke drawing border? That's a whole different topic. There's a whole load that goes into that. It's called a title block. Have a Google if you're looking to do your own. Yeah, look into title blocks. Hi, is this free software or subscription? This is subscription-based software. Yeah, AutoCAD. I don't think you can buy it outright anymore. I'm not sure on that, but nowadays they're pushing for subscriptions, and it's like a couple of $1,000 a year. It's pretty expensive. Which one is better, ePlan or AutoCAD Electrical? I haven't used ePlan, mate, so I'm not sure, to be fair. Okay, so if we're in hand mode, I'm going to do a little circuit with... I'm basically going to allow... Okay, so this is an enabler for my hand circuit, for my manual circuit. So I'm going to put some push buttons in. Let me just pull that over here a second, find my push buttons. Push buttons, normally open. Okay, so... Obviously, I don't know if we've got any guys from outside Europe here, but these symbols that I'm using are IEC symbols rather than NEMA symbols. So that's why they might look a little bit different for you. I'm going to call this my start button. Let's put it there. Yeah, start button. Give that 11 and 14. And as well, what I've kind of glossed over is you can put all like the manufacturer data in. You don't even have to put it in. There's like a database already that comes with AutoCAD where you can pick a particular type of button. You know, it's got all different manufacturers. It's got Eaton, ABB, Schneider, you know, all the others. And you can give it data. I won't do that on this stream just because it's unnecessary, but you can do all that, and then it can give you a bill of materials at the end. So when you finish all your drawings, you can create a report, and it will give you every component that you've used in that panel, or, you know, that machine, whatever you're designing. And then, you know, you could take that and go and order parts and stuff like that. Alaska, thank you for the follow, mate. Nexus, thank you to follow. Ben Stitty, thank you for sharing the live. Welcome back as well, mate. I'm starting to recognise a few names coming back. Thank you for that, buddy. DICCO, thank you for the follow, mate. Yo, bro, I'm a huge fan of follower. At some point, could we see some Simulink soon, bro? All the best. I haven't used Simulink for a long time, and even when I did, I used it for like maybe 2 or 3 classes at university. I don't remember it, and I was never an expert to begin with, and also I don't have it. If you're a student or have access to a student email, you can access Autodesk products. Worth a look. That's right, Alex. Thank you for reminding me of that. I did mention that last night. If you have a student email, you can get access to AutoCAD. I did it myself when I was a student. I think at the time you could get it for 3 years. They would give you access to basically any AutoCAD product for 3 years. I don't know if it's still like that now, but I think it's something similar. ePlan has its own advantage, mate. Yeah, I think ePlan, as far as I'm aware, is just as good, if not better, than AutoCAD Electrical. It seems to be the way a lot of people in the industry are going. So there's my start button. I also want a stop button. Let's make that normally closed. Push buttons. Normally there would all be images on them, on all those components that you've seen on that list. For whatever reason, my installation has decided not to bring those in. I think it's something to do with the database that I've got in the background. It is what it is. I know where most stuff is anyway. So this is my stop button. If I could spell, which I've obviously can't. There we go. Let's call that 1112. Start button, stop button. Oh, let's bring that up. Gentle Cal, thank you to follow. C, thank you to follow. Really appreciate it, guys. Thank you to everyone who's liking the live. Thank you to everyone who's sharing the live. I really, really appreciate it. Let's add another. In fact, let's put a contactor in this time. So, relays. In fact, it's not. It's called motor control. There we go. Motor control. Motor starter, they're called, and a coil. Let's leave this as K4. Normally, actually, I don't call stuff K1, K2, K3, K4. Because sometimes I just don't find it very intuitive if you're looking at a circuit. So if I was doing like, I don't know, a pump run contactor or something, I'd call it PRC. Yeah, that's how I tend to actually label. But I'll just leave it as K4 for now, just for the purposes of the stream. Let's call this motor run contactor or something. And the coil is normally A1 and A2 on a contactor. And we would have, let's say it's a 3-pole contactor. We've got 3 normally open contacts. I think normally open is a 1. It is. We'll call that 1 and 2, which is normally what it is. 1, 3 and 4. And final one is, in fact it's not the final one, but it's 1, 5 and 6. And then lastly, you normally get an auxiliary, so that'd be 1, 11 and 14. Again, like I say, normally you don't have to fill, well, if you've selected like a manufacturer and stuff for your contactor or your relay, it pre-fills all this in for you. You don't have to do all this because it's got the data in the background in the database. So I'm just doing it because I haven't filled all that in. Yeah. And then with those numbers I just typed in, it now knows what the contacts are. So it's a 3-pole contactor with 1 auxiliary normally open contact.
Here comes the money.
Hey, thank you. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Cheers the engineer. You've already answered it. Thank you. Adrian, thank you for the follow. Telsky, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate it, guys. Up to 45 follows for this stream. That's mad. It's Redeemer Spending, I think. Thank you for the follow. Really appreciate it. And Allied, thank you. Aid maybe. Really appreciate it, guys. Thank you, everyone, for the support. Okay, so there's in auto mode, start button, stop button, but also as well as that, I want a latch for that contactor. And because it's the same drawing, I can just do parent sibling. It's telling me you've copied a relay contact, but this is a contactor coil. You need to change the database name basically in the background, the type of contact it is, which is fine. So let's. I'm doing things a bit fast. Sorry guys, I'll slow down. When that contact came in there, it came in with a pin number of 1 and 2, but 1 and 2 is one of the main poles, and I don't want to use the main pole for doing the latch. I want to use the auxiliary contact. So because I already pre-put in the data of the contacts, it already knows what numbers are what. I can click list here, and then it gives me a list of what contacts are available for that contactor. So I want 11 and 14 because that's the auxiliary contact. And then I've got, for whatever reason, I've got object snap on again. It keeps coming on. Turn that off. Right, so there we go. Put that over there. Put that over there. And there's my latch. Kind of looks a bit funny. I think I've gone a bit too high there. Let me scoot that down one. There we go. Okay, so there's basically our manual start circuit. It hasn't got any wire numbers yet, so I've got two choices. I can either do a project wide, add wire numbers, or I can select the wires that I want numbers to. Just for the sake of it, I'll do project wide. Sequential. Let's just go for it. Yeah, let's go for it. Do all. Save. Okay. I don't normally do this. I normally pick them individually. But there you go. It's added some numbers. And the reason I normally do it individually because they're not the right numbers. They're not sequential to what was I did last. They were new numbers because this is a new circuit. It's added like a 1 to the front of the number, the start of the number. So let me just do it individually just because I prefer to do it that way anyway. And again, it's done it a bit weird. Why is that? Everything's gone Pete Tong. What's happened here? Let me close. There we go. Oh no, it is. It is. We're up to. I didn't realise we're up to wire 11. Okay, never mind. Ignore me. Hopefully everyone's following along. If you're not following along, just ask a question. We got 40k likes last night on the live. Let's beat it. Yeah, please do. Everyone just smash your phone in. Just start tapping away, please. Achiever, thank you for the follow. Jovan, thank you for the follow. Libanio, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate it. The Discord link doesn't work. Just takes you to the Discord homepage and fails. Is that by pressing the... Why does it always do this? Unable to verify. Just 1 second, guys. TikTok's trying to end my life. There we go. I'm back. Are you pressing the little icon in the top right there, the engineer? Or is that... No, that's the icon. I'll have to figure it out, unfortunately. Discord doesn't seem to work with Linktree very well. It's a bit of a nightmare. Is this similar to ETAP? I don't think so. I've not used ETAP, but I think that's more for like... Am I not right in thinking that's for like calculations and stuff like that? That doesn't look like Xilinx, that is. You are correct in saying it doesn't look like Xilinx, because it isn't. Why not the stop button at the beginning? I know a lot of people are taught to do it that way, but it doesn't matter whatsoever. I don't like doing it that way personally. That's just my personal preference. Is I like all the triggers for starting, you know, like latching up or starting a circuit to be at the front, and I like all the, what's the word? You know, the ones that basically break that. I like all them in a chain afterwards. That's just my personal preference. I remember when I was at college and university and stuff. Everyone always said put the stops at the start, but that, yeah, I'm not a fan of it. Killian, thank you for following the live. Mo, thank you for following the live. Engineer's Mind, thank you. Briefly, thank you. Ibra, thank you. Rick, thank you. Why not colour the line? Yeah, I just don't. I leave it all white. All my lines are white. I feel like you would have to print in colour for that to be a thing. You know, for that to be of any use. The way I do it, it doesn't have to be in colour. All these will show up in black, all this text and stuff. Copy the link and post it in the browser. Thank you, you know who. I appreciate that, mate. Thanks for saying that. I'm an automation student, so you have any tips for a beginner? I guess if you can be more specific, I can probably help, I would say. I don't know what sort of tips you're after. Yeah, so that's my... I like to also put the tags of the coils inside the coil. So I'll align the text to middle center, and then I'll just snap it into the middle. So I like to have the tag of it inside. Pure Power, thank you for the follow, really appreciate it. What's the software? It's AutoCAD Electrical. On the AutoCAD grind. I am, brother. Yeah, hopefully... if anyone's interested in like the 3D side of actual laying out the panel and designing it, I did that last night. It's all on my YouTube if you're interested in that. Ever use C Electrical? I have, mate. Yeah, I have. I didn't use it for long. It was a very brief trial, and I didn't get on with it. Yeah, I wasn't a great fan. We got a little bit of training. Do you know what I think this is an industry thing. Something that I'm really not a fan of, which is becoming more and more of a thing, is software unlocks, you know, like paid add-ins and stuff like that. So when we were showed C Electrical, the guy, obviously being like the salesman for it, he had everything unlocked. He had every single feature, and he was showing us all this really cool stuff, and we're like, yeah, that looks good, that looks good. It looks like it could save time here and here. But then when we actually bought it for the standard one, the price was similar to AutoCAD Electrical. Yet all the features he showed us that was really cool were locked off. You had to pay extra for those. It's something I can't stand. I hate that sort of thing. It's just like, yeah, I get it's business. I get, that's how they make money. But stuff like that, I just hate. CAD. Yeah, this is CAD, mate. Yeah. John Spathgate. I feel like I recognise that name. Maybe that was the guy that showed us it. That might have been. I feel like it is, because it's quite a unique surname. I think that was the guy who showed us. What's better? I personally prefer this, but like I say, that did definitely have cool features, but you had to pay 3 times more to unlock everything. Do you do anything with Alan Bradley? I don't, to be fair, mate. I don't. We build panels for a particular customer who uses Alan Bradley, but we don't program them. It's a bit of a strange arrangement we've got. We don't do that with many customers. We don't just do panel builds. We tend to program whatever we build and design and that sort of thing. These guys get us to do the design and the build, but then they'll program it. It works out pretty well, but they use Alan Bradley. I wouldn't do it by choice. Did you ever use SolidWorks Electrical? No, but my last company where I worked, they were going to move on to that. So we used just normal AutoCAD, generic AutoCAD, not AutoCAD Electrical there. But they use SolidWorks for the 3D modelling and stuff. So then we were going to shift over to SolidWorks Electrical, but I'd left before we did any of that. Thinking of moving over to AutoCAD. AutoCAD's good. It is good, mate. It probably, I say it's good, and I'm showing you. This is a very typical thing. I'm showing you all this stuff that looks cool and looks dead easy. I've been restricted for 10 minutes. I don't know why. I've been moving my screen. I've been showing you it, and it looks dead easy, I guess. But I use this every day, so it will. It'll take a little while to get used to, I would think. Yeah. I've missed a load of follows. Let me just go back and get them. I'm restricted now anyway, so I can just leave the screens. The thing is, I keep getting restricted for 10 minutes because they think I've got a static screen, so I have to keep moving it around to try and get around it, but they've restricted me anyway, so... Let me see, where did I get to? William Adams, thank you for the follow. Green, thank you for the follow. Carlas, thank you for the follow. Dax, thank you for the follow. Abba, thank you for the follow. Oh, we've had a few follows since I was chatting. ANR, thank you for the follow. That might be it. There we go. Where did you learn AutoCAD? I struggled for months on my own learning off YouTube. I didn't want to pay for a course. I just learned it on the job, mate. I did have some help from, like, there was a mechanical engineer and another electrical engineer when I was an apprentice who I was kind of like doing work for. And every so often they would give me pointers about this and that. But really, I was just playing with it, to be fair. Do you do tutorials for complete beginners? I don't, mate. I don't really do tutorials and stuff. I just kind of hop on lives and just show whatever I think might be interesting. I'll occasionally do a video. I haven't done a proper video for ages. I need to get back into it. I've just been kind of clipping the lives, really. So no, unfortunately I don't. I just don't really have time for that sort of thing. I'm a multi-skilled maintenance apprentice. I'm in my 4th year, coming out my time soon. Congratulations, RQ, mate. It's a bit of a slog doing your apprenticeship, but you're coming to the end of the, the light at the end of the tunnel. You'll soon be on the big box, hopefully. Do you build these block templates, pre-build? So no, the coils and the switches and the relay contacts and stuff, they're all built in. AutoCAD has its own library. You do have to build stuff. There are, it doesn't have everything, so you have to build your own on certain things. I'm getting a dry throat with all this talking. So, just as an example, let me pull something in. Let's try and find something that you might know what it is. Because we use a lot of like stuff bespoke to my industry. Let me have a look. What have I got? I mean, none of you will probably know what this is, but this is a block that we've made. This is for a Deep Sea Electronics 335, which is an ATS controller. And obviously AutoCAD has no idea what one of them is, so we've had to make it ourselves, assign attributes to it, and basically get it to work within AutoCAD Electrical's like automated system. So that, yeah, there's just an example. But this stuff, these are all built in, they come with a program. Can you generate a parts list? You can, mate. As long as you assign, like I was saying, you might have missed this earlier, you get manufacturer data and catalog and all that stuff. As long as you assign that information, it will give you, tell you how many of them you've used and that sort of thing. I wonder if I can find something. The thing is, I never do it, so I don't really remember how. There we go. Catalog stuff. And you just get like, it knows it's a contactor. So like you can go through and, yeah, I don't know what I've got installed, to be fair. I've only just got this PC. Maybe it's just Siemens. You can import other manufacturers and that sort of thing. But I can pick one of them, whatever one of them is. I'll click OK. That didn't work as how I thought it would. Anyway, you can. I've definitely done it in the past. I don't do it a lot. Just kicking off. It's changed a load of stuff. It's made it a... okay. It has updated it. You see, whatever that contactor was that I picked, they're the contacts for it, I guess. Like I say, I don't tend to do it, but if you did do all that, then you can generate a bomb at the end. Yeah. Can you show us the symbol database? I think I did just show that. Yeah. Oh, unless you, I can't show you the images. That's the problem. But the file that I used to download this with, it obviously didn't work very well or whatever. I haven't got any images on my symbols. So like, you can see they're just all circles. Normally, what you would normally see if you had this software is actual symbols for what these things are. I've seemed to have broken it somehow. Can you program PLC with AutoCAD Electrical? No, mate. No, this is just for design only. for like you would do your panel design with this software. You wouldn't do any programming or anything. You know who? Thank you. You've already answered him. Trevor, thank you for the follow. I don't know if I missed any others. Probably not. Once you get restricted on TikTok, it's mad. You just like drop half the viewers in like a few minutes. Each PLC has its own software. Mitzi is mainly used on GX, Siemens, and TIA. That's right, RQ. Yep, you're right, mate. I don't use the catalogue because they never have what I'm looking for. No, that's the same with AutoCAD, to be fair. You can download something called a localizer, which will, depending on where you get your AutoCAD from, because normally you get them through like a distributor. They'll have a localizer for, the UK or Europe or whatever, and it'll have stuff more tailored to what you use, because AutoCAD's obviously an American software. It has a lot of American parts on, and a lot of that stuff just isn't available here. Does anyone else hate how much Siemens update TIA, so when you're trying to sim you can't? I don't have that problem. I run mine on a VM, and I don't think I have my VM connected to the internet, so I don't have to deal with that problem. The restriction is ridiculous. What's that in reference to with the engineer? Okay, so I know I get started and rambling, and then I end up not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay, so in auto mode, and here you would have like, I would take these to terminals or something. Where's my terminals? Wait a second, let me pull it across here. Terminals, there we go. Terminal with wire number, that's what I'm going to put in. So I can put a couple of terminals down, delete that wire out the middle, and basically them terminals where you'd connect like an external float switch or whatever it is you're controlling. You might also have like, I don't know, another set of terminals for another float or something. What I would do in this case is I would get my text. Where's my text? I'll copy that across. You guys can see that okay. And I would put here something like start float or something to let you know that's where the start float needs to be connected across these terminals. Them terminals don't mean anything at the moment until I put wire numbers in. So I'll put a wire number there, wire number there, wire number. No, in fact, I don't need a wire number there. So across 14 and 15 is where I'd connect the start float. As well as that, with a terminal, I normally give it a tag strip, so I'd call it X1. And then that way it'd be X114, X115, and depends how you set up your panel, but then this might be X2, 15, and X2, 2. And I would say maybe that's where the stop float goes. This is just how I do it. I know other people do it differently. You might draw the contact and stuff like that. Normally have to bodge a job because TIA won't update. Fair enough. Your live restriction. It's mad, isn't it? It's mad, Kay. IS barrier. What are you asking him? Good evening, Professor Butler. How are you doing tonight, mate? I feel like you did I see that you'd mentioned me in something earlier? I had like a notification at the top of my screen for about 0.5 seconds, and then it disappeared, and I have no notification for it. So I have no idea what you either commented or mentioned or something. I've seen it earlier, but it went. Is this software free? It's not, mate. No, this is actually quite an expensive software. This is AutoCAD Electrical. I must have turned grid off by accident. Yeah, unfortunately it's not. But an alternative might be SkyCAD or FreeCAD. They're two alternatives that I know of. Let's put that back because that's not good there. Start float, stop float. Let's just bring another. That's no, I don't want that to go up there. I want that to. Let me shift these up a little bit. In fact, I'll shift them two up. Won't start float and won't work. Start float will start and stop. Well, yeah, you're right. I'm just kind of making this up on the fly here, mate. To be fair, yeah, it needs to be latched in as well. But I'm just yeah. It's all gone a bit messy. Hang on a minute. Let me create some space because I don't like it like that. You are right though. You are right. I do need it. It would need to be latched in some way, but you never know. It could be from like an intelligent device on the tank or something. A lot of tanks, at least a lot I've seen, have little Siemens logos on them and stuff, so it might be latched up in there. But then you wouldn't have a start and stop. So yeah, I'm just kind of making it up on the fly. I'll be honest. There's no real thought gone into any of this. I'm kind of more showing the software than anything. I'll just say, oh yeah, cheers mate. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I just don't get notifications. And also, I don't know what else it is. Like, the engineer, you commented on one of my videos the other day. I forget what you said now. It was on, oh, it was can you program it to understand women or something you said. I've replied to that, but on my missus's phone, that reply just isn't there. So I don't know, TikTok's being a little bit weird at the minute. I'm not sure what's going on. It was funny though, yeah. I did reply to it. I don't know if you can see it, but on my missus's phone, it's just not there, my reply. I tagged you in a comment in the video. Yeah. I don't know what's up. It was there. So when I opened the app up, it was at the top for literally about half a second, and then it disappeared, and I went to my notifications, and it just wasn't there. AutoCAD is fairly expensive, but if you're a student, you can get it free. Yeah, that's right, RQ. Yeah, I always forget to mention that. Someone else pointed that out as well earlier. Oh, you can't see it either. I don't really remember what I said. It was something along the lines of not even God himself could do that or something. Yeah, I don't know. I do find stuff like that. I get no notifications for certain things. I don't know what's going on. But that comment is a bit weird, yeah. Anyway, let me carry on. So, this was just an example showing you basically how these arrows work. So, they're the source arrows, they're the destination arrows. They point to, you know, these numbers point to where they're going. So, drawing E1, 6G. There was a couple of relays, a lamp, some selector switches, some relays. Then that went across to the next drawing, which was E2, which is this one here. That's where they came in. I've not labelled them up again, so let me just do that. So that's the positive, that's the negative. That's how I would normally do it. And then, you know, you can have your rest of your control circuits or whatever on here. I can bring that in a little bit, tidy it up a little bit. And then, you know, you can have this motor on. I'm going to call you Smag because I can't... Smagaru? Smagmaru? Yeah, I can't read that, unfortunately. Thank you for the follow, mate. I really appreciate that. Yeah, so... And then, have I got a drawing free? I'm not sure what's on this. Oh, this was just a load of messing around. A load of PLC parts. Let me bin them off. So let's have a drawing 3, and that could be the AC drawing. So, I know we haven't really got much on here, on this drawing. But we could take that then. So this motor run contactor goes to another drawing. We'll do another multiple bus. This time we'll have 4 wires going horizontal. And then we'll have some terminals on there. Oh, and make them X3 actually as well. MC Topic, thank you for the follow, mate. Really appreciate that. So there's my terminals. I feel like you can see that, can you? Just about. I need to try and remember to keep it centered. Change that to X3. Add some text in. This is going to be L1. It's going to be L2. Copy that across, and that's L3, and that's my neutral. It's not laid out very well. They should actually be centered. Let me just center them. Oh, it is centered. What's going on there then? Ah, there's a carriage return in there for some reason. What about that one? No, that one's okay. So there's L2. There's L3. That's going... Yeah, there we go. And neutral. So this can be my AC circuit. Then off here, I can come down with another bus, it's called. And I can just pull that down, and it will pull them all down for me. And then I can put in... I'll bring this over here. Like I say, you would normally see actual symbols in this database thing. I've broke it somehow. Breakers. And also, one weird thing about AutoCAD Electrical, it doesn't have any 4-pole circuit breakers. It has 3-pole circuit breakers. Let's say that's a 32 amp circuit breaker. And then you kind of just have to copy the last pole across. I want to bin that off, else I'll start getting weird cross references. All June, Ali June, I think. Thank you for the follow, mate. And Tishomerello, I think. I'm sorry. Thank you for the follow. Is there any freeware comparable to Alan Bradley that I could learn on? Yes, Codesys. Download Codesys. I mean, it's not totally comparable, but it is a PLC programming software that is free and you can simulate on. Because Alan Bradley software is pretty expensive, just like Siemens. There are ways and means of getting Siemens software, although it's not recommended. I don't know how else to put that without getting in trouble. But yeah, I would say Codesys is your best bet, mate. Yeah, really appreciate that, the engineer. Thank you, mate. And thank you, Katie, for reminding me. Yeah, that was really kind of you. Oh, and Professor Butler, you sent a flame. Thank you, mate. I've missed a few. Killian also sent some hammers. Really appreciate that, guys. Thank you. Thank you very much. Right, okay, so there's my circuit breakers. Let's bring in not that. I've obviously I need to bring it closer because I can't see it right. Motor control. There. Why? I don't know why I couldn't see that. And I want some contacts. Motor starter. I want 3 normally open. Like I say, I don't know why 4-pole just isn't really a thing. In fact, I don't really need 4-pole because it's going to be a 3-phase motor. We're going to tie that to the motor run contactor. So that should pre-fill all the information in. There we go. From the previous drawing. So now you'll see those contacts have numbers against them. Although it's saying E2. Let me just change that because that's not true. That's E3, that drawing. And now I think if I go back here, no, if I update here, oh, it's still not doing it. Hang on a sec. My E3 drawing was labelled as E2, so it's got itself in a bit of a mess. But if I just re-add them, I think it should sort it out. I had 2 E2 drawings. User 345, thank you. Really appreciate that, mate. Hopefully now, when I go back to the other one, it should say E3 now. Oh, hey, PLC Atley? I'm not sure what you mean there, mate. Right, it says E3 now. So, yeah, I feel like I've showed that side of things. I'm going to take this whole 4th pole out because we're not going to need it. We want to add in an overload. Now I need to find those overloads. Just a second. Motor control, overload 3-pole. There we go. So all these symbols I'm just pulling off the the AutoCAD Electrical database. I'm not having to draw any of them myself. If you had just generic standard AutoCAD, you don't have like that database of symbols. You have to draw everything yourself. A lot of guys just draw it once and just have like a one drawing with a whole shit ton of parts on it. Bro, that's beautiful. What's the software name? This is AutoCAD Electrical, mate. Hopefully I've answered a few of your questions there. That was the whole point of the title of the video. The title of this live was "What's the software name?" Because 95% of the time I'm having to repeat the same thing. I'm gonna call this I just call it motor overload. Yeah, we're getting to the end now. I'm getting tired. I'm ready for bed. We've got work in the morning. And let's take that to a motor. So let me find a motor now. 3-phase motor. Let's just chuck that in. I'll put that there. Just call it, I don't know, fan motor or whatever. I can't even remember what the control circuit was that we're doing now. I can bring that one. In fact, I don't need to do that. I could just extend that wire. And I'll bring that down to... No, wrong way. I want to put that on there. There we go. And put that on there. We don't have any wire numbers yet, so let's add them quickly. Like I say, I always try and pick individual wires. So wires on... in fact, this AC itself needs numbers. These need numbers. This bit in between needs numbers. And then this bit needs numbers. Can you all see that? Yep. Who do you work for? I'm not going to say who I work for, to be fair, mate. I'm sure you're all great guys in here, but the internet could be a strange place. I'd rather just not say who I work for. So there we go. We've got a load of wire numbers. Where do I find those blocks? This is AutoCAD Electrical. You should find those in AutoCAD Electrical. And let me shift that up. No, I need to join those two wires together. Join those two wires together. And then I can shift the whole lot up so it's a little bit closer. Had any experience with BMS? Not really, mate. Yeah, it's not really the thing I'm into. I do interface with BMSs quite often, but I don't do any work with them. A lot of the control panels I do, we provide Modbus TCP registers for BMS controllers. Limitless, thank you for the follow. Circes, I think, thank you for the follow. And Bast, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate it. Up to 78 followers for this live stream. That's great. Jamie Dean, thank you for the follow. And also Chris Dot, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate it, guys. Daniel DeLove, thank you for the follow. It's going crazy. AutoCAD Electrical, it is, mate, yes. CAD is the bane of me. It can be. Yeah, I feel your pain. It definitely can be. Oh, wow, what's going on? Sebelicious, thank you. Lexington, thank you. Really appreciate it, guys. We have Bradleys and tons of Siemens, but to be honest, I really hate it. We just interface with them. Ah, okay. Yeah. 101 folk watching you make a circuit board. It's wow, there's 110 people in here. It's crazy because I was restricted. My live was restricted about, I don't know, 20 minutes ago. And we dropped right down to like 20 or something. Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you everyone who's joined. Thank you to everyone who's liking. Thank you to everyone who's gifted. Thank you to everyone who's following. Really appreciate it. Marcus, thank you to follow. It's funny because we're all using a device somebody would. I'm not sure what you mean there, mate. I had a lot of issues with electrical for some reason. I've been doing my schematics in LT for a year. Yeah, that's how I learned. I learned on AutoCAD LT, which is the AutoCAD Lite, essentially. Hasn't got any 3D in it. It does the same stuff as normal AutoCAD, it just doesn't have the 3D element. I don't know if it's got anything else missing from it, but yeah, that's how I first learned, and then I went on to the 3D side. My YouTube, I've seen someone asking for that. It's in my link tree in the bio. The entire of this stream will be on there, as is all the other streams that I've done. Last night we did 3D modelling in AutoCAD. We 3D modelled up a control panel, so you can catch that there. Now I'm switching to E-Plan. It's a lot. I hear a lot of guys are switching to E-Plan. I do hear that. Apparently it's pretty good. I imagine there's a bit of a steep learning curve. Wow, what is going on? Little ISG, thank you to follow. Geber, thank you to follow. Moses, thank you to follow. Mickey22, thank you to follow. And Lung Hani, I think. Sorry if I butchered your name there. Thank you for the follow. I'm pretty sure this industry plan for your customer. No, this isn't a drawing for the customer. I've made this on the live tonight. This is all just what we made. It doesn't do anything in particular. It was just showing off the software. showing off, you know, different aspects of design, I guess. Piotr, I think. Peter, I would say. Thank you for the follow, mate. Really appreciate that. Somebody would have been doing what you're doing for us to watch you. Somebody would have been doing what you're doing for us to watch you. I'm lost there, buddy. I'm lost. Explain it to me. I'm lost. Nice cut, GTA. Thank you, Tim. Welcome back, mate. Yeah, I look a little bit less homeless today, don't I? I've had a trim. I've had my beard trimmed back. I'm looking like I don't live on the streets anymore. Mr. Aswan, thank you for the follow. Ibrahim, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, let's run it for a little bit more. We've got a few more people in now. Like I said, we got restricted. We dropped down. But if there's a lot of people wanting to see a little bit more, I'll go for a little bit longer. I have got work tomorrow, though. T. Shepo, thank you to follow. User 665, thank you to follow. Can you show how to get input tag to show up? In what way? What do you mean, input tag? As in, like, the where you input the data and stuff of the contacts? Or are you talking about on a PLC or something? How do you connect? There's a button that says wire. And I click that, and then I'm just putting wires everywhere. And if I want to delete it, trim wire. But I can press trim wire, press F space, and then I can basically fence off what I want to delete. So any of that blue wire there is going to delete whatever's touching it. So you see I missed that one there. Where do you get those electric symbols on AutoCAD? Well, you get it because it's AutoCAD Electrical. It's not just the generic AutoCAD. It comes with AutoCAD Electrical, a lot of the symbols. So I know in normal AutoCAD you have to like make your own symbols. In AutoCAD Electrical, which is, you know, specific for doing schematics and that sort of thing, the symbols are already in like a database for you. Thank you, Katie. Thank you for linking that. Yeah, if you go in my link tree, you can find my Instagram. You can find my YouTube, Discord. I built a Discord server. It's still in the process of making it, but the idea is to have a little bit of a community going with like-minded people, controls guys, techs, engineers, talking about stuff, getting advice on stuff. Yeah, go and if you've got Discord, I'd really appreciate you going and joining that. I don't use CAD for electrical, but it did it for MHE. What's MHE? Is that a term? It sounds like a term I'm not familiar with. Do you like building schematics like this? Favourite part of the job? I do enjoy it, mate. I do. I don't know if it's my favourite part. I think my favourite part, even though I'm a design engineer, is actually programming and testing the control panels. Testing's in my blood. That's where I did my apprenticeship. I was a test engineer for like 6-7 years before I became a design engineer. Yeah, that's the bit I really enjoy. I do like most parts of my job. The bits I don't like is doing cable schedules. So when you've got a control panel and you've got loads of terminals and stuff, obviously there needs to be like oh, hang on a sec. There's a, you know, a cable's got to connect to those terminals across site. You know what a cable schedule is. That's the bit I hate. That's the most boring part. I also don't really like doing control philosophies, which basically describes how the system is going to work in words and diagrams and stuff. I find all that a bit boring and tedious. But yeah, I like drawing circuits. I like drawing circuits. Oh, mechanical engineer. Ah, okay, right. So, oh bloody hell, we've had a lot of comments. Let me go back to the followers. It's going crazy. Adam, thank you for the follow. Neto, thank you for the follow. Oscar, thank you for the follow. SZ, thank you for the follow. Or SZ. Mash, thank you for the follow. Kwan, thank you for the follow. Sodu Fior, thank you for the follow. Bastion, thank you for the follow. Nowhere, thank you for the follow. It's going mad. Iraqi, thank you for the follow. Iraq G, I think. Hafid, thank you for the follow. Ian Farmer, thank you for the follow. Austin, thank you for the follow. Eliman, thank you for the follow. Ruvejda, I'm sorry, I'm butchering a lot of these names that I just can't pronounce. Jamal Svensson, thank you for the follow. Exospheri, thank you for the follow. Yeah, move my screen. I need to move my screen, else I'm going to get restricted again. Thank you, everyone, for the follows and whatnot. Oh, like controls, narrative, or sequence of... Yeah, sequence of operations is sometimes called. I call it control philosophy. That's normally what I title the document. Or, operations philosophy, something like that. Basically, the written description of how the system works. What's going to happen at what time. What I/O is in the panel. What else do I put in there? Any single line diagrams. It's all like... It's admin. That's how I see it. I know it's not. I know it's necessary, but I find it admin. And yeah, boring. Oh, it cuts my messages. Send it again, Peter. Piotr. Is CAD Electrical software available? So is your job doing design or just doing this in TikTok? Yeah, no, this isn't my job. I'm a part-time TikToker. No, I don't get paid even 2% enough for this to be my job. Richard Edams, thank you to follow. SBR, thank you to follow. Ever use GXWorks? Yes, mate. I have a ton of videos on GXWorks. Mitsubishi is my favourite PLC. Is that Fluid Sim? It's not, mate. It's AutoCAD Electrical. Yeah, there's no simulation involved with this. It's a design software. Preferred PLC type, I'm an AB personally. Yeah, I'm a Mitsubishi guy. Mitsubishi and Schneider. I do like the Schneider PLCs too. I haven't really used enough AB to actually know whether I like it or not, but I just know it's crazy expensive stuff, so I would probably never recommend it, personally. How does it feel to design stuff that you might not ever see again in the field? I hope, that's my hope, to be fair, Tim. My hope is I never see it again, because if I see it again, that means there's something wrong with it. And that's a bad thing. So, yeah, it doesn't bother me. I like to know that if I don't see it again, it's probably working great. Yeah, it's a good thing if I don't see it again. Luke, thank you to follow, mate. Really appreciate that. Never had a chance to use them. I've only ever used AB and Siemens. Yeah, it's fair enough. AB and Siemens are the two most popular by far. Mitsubishi is actually like it's not a very popular PLC these days. It was back in the day, but I feel like it works really well. I like the software. I like the hardware. Yeah, it's good. I was looking at what they work at. You're right. They are very small. Them stickers. I can only see them when I hover over them. I might need to sort them stickers out. The followers are going crazy. I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. Luke, thank you to follow. Garcia, thank you to follow. I'm going to absolutely murder this name. I do apologise. Sebehile, thank you to follow. Lazy Spring, thank you to follow. Senor Pinochet, I'm sorry. Thank you for the follow. Katie Patati, thank you to follow. What a name. Cox, thank you to follow. Kwame, thank you to follow. Do you have general engineering design process you go for every project? Yeah, I'd say my process is I'll get handed a job pack from the sales guy. So they've sold the job, and in that job pack, it will give me information what they've sold. My visibility has been restricted again. It is what it is. We're at the end now anyway. So yeah, I get the job pack, and in there it will say what we've sold, what the prices are, how much the panel we've sold it for, if they've detailed anything specific that needs to go in the panel, something that the customer might have asked for. So I'll take that information, I'll then, read through it all, process it all. Then I'll probably just get to work, start putting a circuit together. As I go through, I'll maybe talk with some colleagues and say, have you, because a lot of the customers are the same. So like, have you spoke to this guy? Did he say anything else? Blah blah blah. I'll get my my circuits done. I'll send them off to the customer and say, here's the first draft. Have a look through. Check if I'm missing anything that you think I should have in it. Check if there's anything in there that you don't want. And basically start the conversation by sending the drawings. We'll then have a little bit of a back and forth. I'll maybe update my drawings a few times. Once I'm happy with the circuit side, I'll then do my GA. Because the GA takes a bit longer, so you don't want to be messing around with that 5 times. I'll sort that out, and then if the customer's happy, they'll give me approval to build. I'll then order all the parts. In the meantime of of going backwards and forwards with the customer. I've put the part schedule together and stuff like that. They approve the drawings. I'll then order the parts. While the parts are on order, you know, because things have a lead time. Certain parts might take 6 weeks. Certain parts might be there next week. There's a bit of a time frame, and as that time frame's going on, I'll then work on the cable schedule. I'll then work on the control philosophy. I'll then work on any programming. I'll work on any documentation for the programming, because we might have like a software manual. We might have some flow charts and stuff like that. And then during that time, the panel gets built. The panel gets electrically tested by a test engineer, so they'll check for its safety, they'll check it works okay, you know, they check it's to spec essentially, the right parts are fitted and stuff like that. Then I'll come across into the workshop and I'll program the control panel, and then I'll functionally test it. Once I'm happy that it's functionally correct to how it should be, you know, to what we've sold. I know this is a really long-winded answer. I do apologise. Yeah, I'll program it, functionally test it. The customer might say, we want to witness that test. I'll always pre-test it before the customer comes up. You don't want to be airing your dirty laundry, because inevitably, can't get that word out, you will have bugs in your program. You know that's just a thing. So I'll test it beforehand, before the customer comes, and then I'll get them to come in, witness the test, sign it off, ship it out. Yeah, long-winded answer. I do apologise. Have I missed any? Don't know why, but them Y numbers are bothering me. Yeah, maybe it should be like 20, 21, 22. The way AutoCAD goes, I think you can actually change it. You can select it to do something different, but you can. I've got it set up so it goes vertically and then it goes horizontally. So it worked its way down first, then it went the other way, then it went. That's how it did it. I'm not gonna say your name out loud, because that is yeah, that's not a good name to say in my opinion. But thank you for the follow. But has tons of features and customization. Yeah, I'm not sure what we're in about there. Have I missed a heart me? Danix, thank you for the heart me. Really appreciate that. Peter, thank you for the rose. Yeah, really appreciate that, guys. I'm going to call it there. I'm going to call it wraps, because I need to get myself to bed. It's 10:30 at night. I've got work in the morning. Bass Joe, I am in the UK, mate, yes. Yeah, I think we'll call it there. I think it's been a decent stream. I do appreciate everyone for likes, for the follows. It went crazy there for a little while. We made 123 on this live, which is wild. Yeah, thank you for everything, guys. I won't be on for a few days, I don't think. Maybe the back end of the week, and certainly the weekend. I try and stream every weekend now. Yeah, thank you for showing up. I appreciate all the comments. Yeah, I'll see you on the next stream. Thank you very much.